Hello and welcome to LiveLaw. My name is Padmakshi Sharma and today we will be talking about the legality of freebies in India. Recently, the Supreme Court of India, while referring to freebies as a serious issue, has asked the central government to take a stand on the need to control the announcement of freebies by political parties during election campaigns. Before we delve any further into the issue, let us first discuss what freebies are and why they are an issue at all. Freebies, as the name suggests, are things which do not charge or cost anything. Political parties often promise to offer such freebies such as free electricity, free water supply, monthly allowance to unemployed individuals, daily wage workers and women, as well as free gadgets like laptops, smartphones, etc. in furtherance of their election manifestos, basically in order to secure the vote of the people. Now you must be wondering, why would this be a bad thing or a serious issue? Why would political parties promising people with such subsidies for their own upliftment and eventually the growth of the nation be a bad thing? Well, to answer that question, let us briefly have a look at the 2013 judgment of S. Subramaniam Balaji versus the government of Tamil Nadu. This case was related to DMK's election manifesto for the assembly elections of 2006, which announced a scheme of free distribution of coloured television sets or CTVs to each and every household which did not possess the same, if the said party or its alliance were elected to power. The party justified the decision of distribution of free CTVs for the purpose of providing recreation and general knowledge to the household women, more particularly those living in rural areas. However, here the court held that although the law was obvious that promises in an election manifesto cannot be construed as corrupt practices under Section 123 of Representation of Peoples Act 1951, the reality could not be ruled out that distribution of freebies of any kind influenced all people. Here, the court directed the Election Commission, in order to ensure level playing field between the contesting parties, to frame guidelines governing the contents of the election manifesto in consultation with all the recognized political parties. The issue of freebies came into spotlight again this year in January, when a public interest litigation was filed before the Supreme Court of India in this regard. In the recent hearings on the matter, the petitioner, Advocate Ashwini Upadhyay, submitted that promises raised by political parties must be reasonable and that the country was in a total debt of 6.5 lakh crore, and if not regulated, India would be on its way to become the next Sri Lanka. The petition had urged the court to declare that first, the promise of irrational freebies from public fund before election unduly influences voters, disturbs level playing field, shakes roots of free fair election and vitiates the purity of election process. Second, the promise or distribution of private goods or services which are not for public purposes from public funds before election violate Articles 14, 162, 266(3) and 282 of the Indian Constitution. And third, that the promise or distribution of irrational freebies from the public fund before election to lure voters is analogous to bribery and undue influence under sections 171B and 171C of the IPC. The bench of Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana, and Justices Krishna Murari and Hema Kohli noted that the issue was rather serious in nature. Suggestions were put forth by Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal, stating that the Finance Commission should allocate the funds to the states by taking into consideration the debts of the state and the quantum of freebies granted, and that the centre could not be expected to issue directions in the matter. Advocate Amit Sharma, on the other hand, who was appearing for the Election Commission of India, stated that offering freebies either before or after the election was a policy decision of the party, and that the Election Commission could not regulate state policies and decisions which may be taken by the winning party from when they form the government. The Supreme Court bench, while directing the central government to file a counter affidavit on the matter, asked the government why it was hesitating to take a stand on the matter. While the Supreme Court adjudges upon the legality of freebies as a part of election manifestos, I want to know your opinions on the matter. Do political parties have a right to determine their election manifestos and freely participate in the culture of freebies? Or is the same detrimental to the economic and democratic interests of the nation? Comment below your views, and if you wish to watch similar content, do not forget to subscribe to our channel.